नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अच्छे से पढ़ना. क्वेश्चन में पूछा which of the following can be. कुछ भी नहीं करना था इसमें से प्लेन इक्वेशन बनानी है यार एंड देन थोड़ा बहुत सॉल्व करना है. सी there are 4 sections. So the pass percentage of section A, B and C is this. Okay, so ठीक है, pass percentage का क्या मतलब होता है? It means that the total number of students who passed in section A, B and C. What is this? So I'll just try to write here total students who have passed in section A, B and C are how much? So if I assume total number of students in section A is A, B is B, C is C, then 0.5 of A plus B plus C have passed the exam, right? Similarly, 0.55 of A plus B plus D have passed in section ABD. Okay. Similarly, ACD में it is 0.6 of B plus C plus D, right? अब मुझसे पूछा क्या है? मुझसे पूछा है A plus okay, I think one more number is left, BCD. BCD में कितना है? It is 0.65. And मुझसे पूछा है okay, this will be A, right? हाँ. मुझसे पूछा कि A plus B plus C plus D में कितना पासिंग परसेंटेज. ये देखते ही क्लिक हो जाना चाहिए कि you just have to add these 4 equations. So if you add it, A कितनी बार आएगा? A will come 3 times, B will come 3 times, C will come 3 times, D will come 3 times. So this is nothing but 4 of total number of students who have passed in. Sorry, 3 into total number of students who have passed in A, B, C and D is equals to, बस इन सबको ऐड करना है, right? If you try adding them, it's a very simple addition. So it comes out to be 1.65 of A plus B plus C plus D plus some number, है ना? कुछ तो नंबर आता है यहाँ पे. It is 0.05 A plus 0.1 C plus 0.15 D. So some number will basically come here. And then if you divide it by 3, why are you dividing it by 3? Because तुमसे पूछा क्या है? A, B, C, D का passing percentage कितना है? So this would come out to be 0.55 of A plus B plus C plus D plus something. Okay, and there will be some number here, right? और मुझे पता है कि A, B, C, D all are like positive integers. Okay, तो यहाँ से कहना ही से कि it has to be greater than 55% because 0.55 of something plus some positive number is there. इसका मतलब passing percentage at least 55 से तो ज़्यादा होगी, which means I only have one option, that is option number A. A very good question क्योंकि it looks very difficult and if you are on the wrong track, it might end up taking a lot of time for you guys. So now if you see हमने सब कुछ पढ़ लिया, but these are like mixed questions जिसमें थोड़ा सा you have to think on the feet कि how do you simplify the calculation. Okay, let's do the next question. You have seen this question in the past, then तब तो कोई sense नहीं है इस question का, but ठीक है, still try. So this is more of an algebra problem than arithmetic. See, this question is solvable अगर ये CAT में आया तो. So you have to apply some trick. How can you solve this? Astha?
Sir, I was not able to do. I was trying to simplify this expression, like x y से divide होता है, like कुछ simplified बनता है क्या? But
मतलब कैसे simplify करोगे इसको नंदनी? देखो, of course ये तो simplified format में है ना, मतलब ये तो इससे ज़्यादा क्या simplify होगा? ये तो already this is the simplified format, right? So ये तो तुम simplify कर नहीं सकते हो. So what are the other things that you could simplify? यहाँ पे अगर ये क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना है तो ये तो क्लियर है कि मेरे को 99 इतने टाइम्स तो आई कैन नॉट परफॉर्म दिस ऑपरेशन. कैट में ऐसा क्वेश्चन तो डेफिनेटली नहीं पूछेगा तुमसे. इफ यू हैव टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन व्हिच मींस सम ऑफ द एक्सप्रेशन विल बी बिकमिंग कांस्टेंट, मे बी से 1 गामा whatever it is. If you just calculate 1 gamma x, it might happen that this basically comes out to be say 2, okay, or maybe say 1.7. If 1 gamma x is 2.2 या 2.7, which means whatever be the value here, इससे मेरा 1 gamma का वो वैल्यू चेंज नहीं होगा. सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज आई विल स्टार्ट विद से 1 गामा y. ठीक है, आई विल स्टार्ट विद 1 गामा y. हाउ डू आई डू इट? आई विल जस्ट पुट द वैल्यू ऑफ x इक्वल्स टू 1 हियर. सो कितना आता है? 5y plus 34 upon x plus 14. Is it a constant? Sorry, y plus 14. Is it a constant? It's not a constant because it cannot be simplified, right? Which means 1 gamma something तो नहीं हो सकता. I have a bad luck. So now I'll have to start with say 2 gamma something, 2 gamma y. Maybe अगर ये अंदर का चीज भी solve हो गया, then I just have to perform an operation once, right? Then I'll try to solve for 2 gamma y. कितना आएगा? 5y plus 35 upon 2y plus 14. Is it a constant?
5/2, yes.
It's a constant, right? So it's a 5/2, which means अभी मैं इस पूरे को if I just assume it to be say y, ठीक है, so इसका जो भी वैल्यू होगा, I know 2 gamma y is always 5/2. Okay, so now my entire question boils down to 1 gamma 5/2. इसको मैं डायरेक्टली अप्लाई कर लूंगा, 1 plus 25/2 plus 33 upon 5/2 plus 14. You just solve it, you will get 2.8 approx.
Yes.
Next question. Okay, maybe चलो ठीक है, इसको I'll give this question as a homework to everyone. It's a very good question. थोड़ा सा तुमको दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा इसमें, ठीक है? But see, all the questions that I'm giving as homework, do discuss it. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि homework है तो तुम करोगे नहीं. Do this question. It's a very good question. ठीक है? Don't miss this. Yes. ठीक है? यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा वेक्टर अप्लाई होगा, मतलब like even if you don't know vector, it is like solvable because we know कि अगर कोई चीज इस तरीके से, then we can break it into two components, right? Horizontal and vertical. So, but yeah, just try this question. It's a very good question. So I don't want to take this opportunity abhi from the learning. Okay. Next question again, I'll give it as a homework. And whenever you're trying, please मुझे answers. चलो मैं आंसर बता देता हूँ. इसका आंसर is 1. Answer is 40%. Okay. It's an easy problem. काफी easy question है. Hence, do this as a homework. ये वाला भी कर लेते हैं. It's a good problem. Answer is 12. Okay. A brilliant question again. But बहुत ही simple है, अगर तुम मतलब a good question. कि language अच्छा है इसका. But it gets very simple if you start solving it. So see, what is given to us is you have two schemes. You have scheme number A and then scheme number B. This is scheme A and then you have scheme B. Scheme A में क्या हो रहा है? Scheme A doubles the money in 6 years. Okay, which means say for example तुमने 100 रुपए इन्वेस्ट किए, तो 6 साल में पैसा डबल, ठीक है? So it will become rupees 200 after 6 years. Yes, this will become rupees 200 after 6 years. Okay. Then scheme B doubles the money in 6 years at a different rate but by compound interest. Okay. ठीक है, तो हम कह रहे हैं दोनों ही स्कीम के अंदर पैसा डबल हो जाता है. Scheme A also doubles the money in 6 years but by simple interest at a certain rate, and scheme B also doubles the money in 6 years at a different rate but by compound interest. B में compound interest लगता है, A के अंदर simple interest लग रहा है. Now to keep his money safe in case a scheme turns out to be a scam, he takes out the money after every 3 years from one scheme to and puts it into another. If he starts with scheme A, in how many years will the money become 4.5 times? Okay, money को मुझे 4.5 times करना है. Okay, and what is given to me कि हर 3 साल में वो change करता है, which means let's say उसने कुछ भी x amount invest किया था. Let's say he has invested amount x in scheme A, and it is given to me कि हर 3 साल में वो scheme change करता है. So it is given to me कि 6 साल के अंदर पैसा डबल हो रहा है by simple interest. If by simple interest the amount of money is getting doubled in 6 years, so what would the amount move to after 3 years? 6 साल में अगर डबल हो रहा है तो 3 साल में क्या होगा? Just think. If it's happening by simple interest, 3/2 which is 1.5 times हो जाएगा. Why? Because 6 साल में इंटरेस्ट कितना लग रहा है? 100. तो अभी मुझे इंटरेस्ट को कितना लगाना है? इंटरेस्ट 50 लगाना है. So it has to be by 2, right? 6 साल में if interest is 100, तो 3 साल में इंटरेस्ट will be 100/2 which is 50. So clear है कि in 3 years using the scheme A, the money will be increased by 50%. So it is 1.5 times. Okay. अब मुझे बताओ अभी क्या किया उसने? ये पैसा उठा के B में डाल दिया, ठीक है? So now tell me what happens here in 3 years. So it is given to me कि 6 साल में पैसा डबल होता है in B, and this is compound interest. Okay. So amount is basically twice of principal after 6 years. So what will happen after 3 years? Just think and tell me कि money कितने times multiply होगा via compound interest?
Root 2 times.
Root 2 times. Others? ये क्लियर हो रहा है? बिकॉज अमाउंट इज व्हाट p, या तो वैसे सॉल्व कर लो, p into 1 plus 1 by r to the power 100 to the power 6 is equals to 2p. So अगर if this is power 3, this has to be 2 power की power half, which is root 2 times, which means after 3 years money will be root 2 times in compound interest and money will be 1.5 times via simple interest. Okay, which means actually में after 6 years कितना हो रहा है? After 6 years money is becoming 1.5 into root 2 times, right? Because मैं एक से पैसा उठा के दूसरे में डाल रहा हूँ. So this is the growth that A plus B scheme is giving me. Now question में पूछा है कि this has to be 4.5 times. Okay. So now all you have to do is to visualize that what is 4.5. मतलब how do you generate 4.5 from here? 4.5 is 2.25 into 2, right? Which means all you have to do is to take a square of this, right? So it is given to you कि 6 साल में पैसा डबल हो रहा है तो 12 साल में पैसा 4.5 times हो जाएगा. Why? Because you will just square it after one more iteration. So 1.5 into root 2 का whole square is nothing but 2.25 into 2, which is 4.5 times. Great. Next question. So how do we do it? Simple हमने allegation पढ़ लिया है अभी. So see, we have two banks, A and B. Of course, you have multiple methods for this, but let's try to apply जो हमने सीखा allegation में. तो मुझे टोटल इंटरेस्ट पता है, आई हैव टू कैलकुलेट टोटल प्रिंसिपल. ओके, मुझे इतना पता है कि टोटल प्रिंसिपल पे नेट इंटरेस्ट विल गिव मी टोटल इंटरेस्ट, राइट? सो इफ आई नो नेट इंटरेस्ट रेट आई विल बी एबल टू कैलकुलेट टोटल इंटरेस्ट. ओके, एंड इट इज गिवन टू मी कि बैंक में 2 साल के लिए डाला है मैंने A and B in the ratio of 13:10 at a rate of 20% and 10% respectively. Okay, so now I can try to apply allegation कि for example मैं सिर्फ A में डालता. So basically, see 20% का जो interest rate है, that is compounded annually, right? But this question is for 2 years. So if 20% interest is for 1 year, what will be the net interest rate for 2 years? Please solve and tell me. What is my net interest rate for 2 years? Compounded annually.
44%.
It is nothing but 1.2 into 1.2 or 20 A plus B plus AB by 100, right? हमारे पास दोनों फॉर्मूले हैं. So it is nothing but 44%. तो अगर मैं सिर्फ ए में इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ 2 साल के लिए, इट वुड हैव बीन 44%. सिमिलरली बी में कितना होगा?
21%.
21%. 1.1 into 1.1 1.21, so it's 21%. एंड मुझे नेट इंटरेस्ट रेट निकालना है. आई डोंट नो ये नंबर कितना है, बट मुझे क्या गिवन है? आई नो कि रेशियो इज 13:10, राइट? सो नाउ कैन यू अप्लाई सिंपल एलिगेशन कि लेट्स से दिस नंबर इज x, राइट? सो आई नो 21 प्लस नहीं, तुम लोग बताओ कितना होता है ये?
34.
Whatever this x number is, x minus 21 has to be 13 and 44 minus x has to be 10, right? तो कुछ भी कर लो, you will get that x has to be equals to 34 using allegation, which means 34% is your net effective interest rate. So 34% of something is equals to 6,800, which means x has to be 20,000. So that's the next question. क्या given है? Nikhil borrows rupees x from Shashank. So we have Shashank here and we have Nikhil here. Okay. So Nikhil x रुपए at 12% interest rate borrow कर रहा है, then he's applying something, find the value of this. ठीक है. Then interest rate in mind. So see, if Nikhil is borrowing at a rate of 12% annual interest rate from x, which means Nikhil will have to pay how much to Shashank? After 1 year, he'll have to pay rupees x at the rate of 12%, right? So that is a cost that he'll have to incur. Abhi question में given है, then he then adds rupees y of his own money and lends rupees x plus y to Harshal. Okay. So then we have another third person here, h. तो अभी वो क्या कर रहा है? वो हर्षिल को दे रहा है by adding y rupees at the rate of 24%. Okay. ठीक है, which means उसको जो net income आएगी that will be x plus y at the rate of 24% and जो उसको cost देनी पड़ेगी that will be x at the rate of 12%, right? Then at the end of the year after returning Shashank's dues, तो dues कितने होंगे? 12% उसको देना पड़ेगा. So if he is given this much amount, the net interest retained by Nikhil is double of that accrued to Shashank. Okay. So which means what? उसका net interest income कितना था? It was x plus y at the rate of 24%. उसमें से उसने x एट द रेट ऑफ 12% दे दिया, तो नेट इंटरेस्ट बचा कितना, सिर्फ सिंप्लीफाई करना है। x था 24% पे, विच मीन्स उसमें से 12% x दे दिया, सो रिमेनिंग इज 24 minus 12. 12% of x is remaining plus 24% of y is remaining. Is this clear कि this is the net income after 1 year? x plus y at the rate of 24% आना था, उसमें से 12% of x देना था. So it's very simple. 0.24 of x plus y minus 0.12x. So it is 0.12x plus 0.24y, which means 12% of x plus 24% of y. Clear हुआ ना सबको?
Yes,
Now
sir.
question says that this is double of that accrued to Shashank. Okay, तो शशांक को कितना दिया था, 12% of x दिया है, ये उसका डबल है, which means if you just simplify this, ये कितना हो जाएगा, 12% of x is equals to 24% of y, which means x has to be equals to 2y. Now question is, on the other hand, had Nikhil lent, अगर इसने x plus 3y की जगह x plus 3y दिया होता, ठीक है, at the rate of 24%, then the net interest retained by him would have increased by 480. Okay, तो अभी देखो बाकी सब कुछ सेम है, सिर्फ इंक्रीज किसकी वजह से आएगा, द ओनली इंक्रीज दैट वुड कम विल बी बिकॉज ऑफ 2y एट द रेट ऑफ 24%, क्योंकि x प्लस y तो पहले था ही, अभी वो x प्लस 3y दे रहा है, सो द ओनली इंक्रीज इज ड्यू टू 2y एट द रेट ऑफ 24%, एंड दिस इज इक्वल टू 48, राइट, व्हिच मींस y कितना होगा, y हैज टू बी 480, राइट.
2000.
Sorry, y has to be 1000, my bad, y has to be 1000, right? अगर y 1000 होगा तो 2000 का 24% is 48. So if y is 2000, x is 2000, because x is 2y, then x plus y has to be 3000. Another very interesting question. I'll give you 2 minutes ताकि तुम at least समझ जाओ, and then we'll do it. It may be difficult. चलो, let's see. So please pay attention. I may not be able to repeat. Question में दे रहा है कि जो डैम A है उसका कैपेसिटी इज फॉर 210 days. So डैम A and डैम B basically caters to the water requirement of cities C and D. डैम A जब पूरा full हो जाता है, then it can supply water to both the cities simultaneously for 210 days. Okay. Dam B works as a buffer dam and is used only when the water level of dam A reaches X% of the full capacity. Okay, which means उसकी full capacity का कुछ X% चले जाएगा तभी B dam on होता है. Okay, और जैसे A X% पे reach होता है, then dam A supplies only 30% of the daily requirements of city C and D, और remaining water percent है वो सारा dam B करता है. Okay, subsequently A and B together supply water for the next 140 days. Okay, which means जैसे ही A का वाटर लेवल X% पहुंचता है, उसके बाद A and B together supply for next 140 days, after which both of them got empty. तो X निकालना है और डैम B का परसेंटेज निकालना है. So see, I would assume कि हाँ, so let's assume कि दोनों सिटी का डेली रिक्वायरमेंट से समथिंग X या समथिंग A. Let A liter of water is needed daily for both C and D. Okay. अभी क्वेश्चन में क्या गिवन है कि A and B they both work together for at least 140 days, right? ये दोनों ही डैम लास्ट 140 डेज में तो चालू रहते हैं, right? It is what is given कि the moment A reaches X%, फिर 140 डेज तक दोनों सप्लाई करते हैं. ओके, एंड इसमें गिवन है कि ये जो 140 डेज होता है इसका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है कि A gives 30% of the water. So 140 days में I know total number of water, total volume of water that will be needed is 140 A. Okay, तो यहाँ पे given है कि A इसका 30% सप्लाई करता है, which means A is supplying what, 42 A liter of water, and remaining will be B. तो B कितना होगा, 70%, which is 98 A liter of water is supplied by B. Okay. अभी यहां से देखो जो दूसरा क्वेश्चन है ना कि व्हाट इज द कैपेसिटी ऑफ डैम बी एज अ परसेंटेज ऑफ द कैपेसिटी ऑफ डैम ए, ये तो बहुत डायरेक्टली निकल दिया क्योंकि मुझे पता है बी चालू होता है जब एंड टोटल बी 98 ए लीटर सप्लाई करता है, व्हिच मींस कैपेसिटी ऑफ बी इज 98 ए एंड कैपेसिटी ऑफ ए इज 210 ए, क्योंकि एक्चुअल में तो ए कैन सप्लाई 210 डेज का वाटर. ओके, So if you just solve this, I think this basically comes out to be 46.67%. So second part was like very straightforward. ये clear हुआ सबको? That a capacity of dam B as a percentage of capacity of dam A has to be 98/210. So see, X क्या है? X is the water level of dam A. तो मुझे पता है कि यार 42 जब okay, let me write it in this format. So X is what? X is that level जहां पे जाके B चालू हो जाता है. So I know जब B चालू हो रहा है, A is supplying 42A, right? So X is nothing but 42A divided by 210A. कि 210 में से जब तक कि 43A, 44A होता है तब तक B चालू नहीं होगा, right? B will only start once the saturation level reaches at 42. उसके बाद the entire 42A will be supplied along with B. So this is what the equation would be for X just by visualizing, and this is nothing but ये कितना है? This is 20%. X का value has to be 20% and दूसरा answer has to be 46.67%. Yes, I think तुम उल्टा निकाल रहे थे. You were taking care of 80%, but 80% नहीं है. It is मतलब 80% तो consume हो गया, but X is कि अभी कहाँ पे है पानी. So if you see, solution तो कुछ नहीं है इसका. 2-3 step का solution था. It was just about visualizing the problem. Let's move to the next question and probably the last question for the workshop. हाँ, तो क्या given है? 5 friends bet money into a game such that in such a way that each person doubles what the previous person has bet. Okay, which means अगर पहले person ने एक रुपए bet किया, दूसरा person will bet 2, then 4, then 8 and then 16, right? Which means इनका जो betting का ratio होना चाहिए, it has to be in the form of 1:2:4:8:16. अब it is known that one member of the group has bet 162. Okay, अब ये पता है कि इन तीनों में से किसी एक ने तो 162 rupees bet किया and all the bets have integer values. Okay, so now let's see, can this 162 be bet by this person who had a bet in terms of 16k? So what I'm saying is, out of ये 5 numbers, which of the following can bet 162 rupees? Can I say कि 162 is not divisible by 16? So 16 वाला तो bet नहीं करेगा. Similarly 8 वाला भी bet नहीं करेगा. Similarly 4 वाला भी bet नहीं करेगा, right? Which means either the first person or the second person can bet rupees 162, right? Because third person जो भी bet करेगा, it has to be in multiples of 4. तो 162 is not in terms of 4. तो अभी मुझे minimum total bets निकालना है. तो see, अगर first person bets 162, ठीक है, then इन सबका total amount कितना है? It is 16 plus 4, 20 plus 10, 30 plus 31 is the total unit, right? तो अगर first person 162 bet करता है तो total will be 31 into 162. Okay, but अगर second person 162 bet होता है, then total amount will actually reduce, right? And because I have to calculate the total number of minimum bets, hence what I would say is I would assume कि second person is actually betting 162. Okay, which means 2A is equals to 162, so A is equals to 81. Okay, which means my answer has to be 31 into 81, which is nothing but 2511. Unit digit से check कर सकते हो, that unit digit has to be 1, so answer has to be 8. ठीक है, so like we can continue with these workshops for I think 10-15 more sessions. इसका कोई end नहीं है, but yeah, this is where we will end this workshop. And arithmetic, I think we have figured, we have done majority of the type of the questions. Okay, इसके beyond नहीं, मतलब नहीं है. Application होगा, do practice these questions अच्छे से. Events पे भी we will start apply, इसको revise कर लेना अच्छे से and apply these concepts. क्या जो भी करें उससे can you solve the questions or not, and how can you, but always focus कि time हमको minimize करना है. So if you are going with the conventional manner, try to change it. Okay, so with this I think we can end this workshop, and I hope कि all the students who are attending these workshops, they have to find a place for themselves in this hall of fame for next year. अपनी अपनी जगह चूज कर लो अभी से कि कहाँ पे आना है फोटो तुम्हारा. Okay.